Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey everybody, good afternoon and welcome back. Welcome to J is for Justice. My name is Jay. I am your host. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button if you haven't already. If you are returning to my channel, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to all the members. You see them in the green. If you'd like to become part of the crew, join our Discord. We have a lot of fun. We do watch parties. We skipped this Saturday, but we're back rolling this Saturday with our 7 p.m. watch parties. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys are having a good Monday. It is Monday, like Monday for real. I'm feeling every bit of Monday today. I can't find my glasses. It's just Monday. What up, Teresa? He did. Well, that was nice. That was nice. We're going to go over, today we're going over Seth Rogers, Sebastian's dad. We're going to go over this interview I found on Facebook with WZTV. And then we are also going to talk about Rex Heuermann and his wife. And then we also have some news on Chad Doerman. Chad Doerman's confession thrown out the window. So we're going to get into all of that today. Yet last night we did watch Sebastian Rogers. I'm reading the screen. We watched his parents on Duchess podcast last night. And I did clip that part and I'm going to upload it into a separate video because if you didn't get to see it, I want to know what you guys think. My lizard buddy's actually hanging out in the window with me. But I want to know what you guys think about that interview because I watched the behavior panel. Like we had homework last night. We were like, okay, we're going to watch the behavior panel. We're going to watch, the dad on Call Into Pascal show. So I watched both. And this is my takeaway from the father's interview on Pascal show. A, he's distraught. B, he's missing his son. He's out there searching alone. He, from what I heard, is a sheriff's deputy at the jail. That he works for the sheriff's department at the jail. And he talked about his son coming over every other weekend. He moved closer in Tennessee. He's not from Tennessee. He moved there to be close to his son. Yeah, it's hot today. It's hot today, Annie. But he moved to Tennessee to be close to his son. And he talked about, their recliners and how they would both sit in the recliners and play PlayStation. How his dad would let him play video games. His dad would let him play video games, but with his friends and his friends list only. His dad also said that he would not wear headphones so that he could hear what he was doing and what he was saying and who he was talking to. But this interview that I found on Facebook is really interesting. Yeah, we're going to listen to that in a second. And then the other thing was the behavior panel. So they did not think that they were being deceitful. They thought that their body language and everything that they analyze and the way that they stayed consistent, they did not see any red flags, according to them. But the interview with Duchess is more telling than any media interview. And the thing that's interesting is that this interview with Duchess was first. So they didn't talk for like a week while this kid was missing to the media or anybody else. And then they went on her podcast and then they started doing, a couple media interviews or whatever. But that's how that whole thing went down. And it's very sus. I hate to say it. I don't like saying that. I don't like, shit, I just spilled my pop. I don't like spilling my pop. But I don't like saying that about parents. I don't. It's just really sad. And there's red flags I can't ignore. So when you hear from Bio Dad, which we're going to play right now, I don't know if there was a custody battle. The dad said that he was getting ready to come live with him in the beginning of the summer. So hang on, my DoorDasher. Okay. They're out of Coke Zero. This is Stephanie. Thank you so much for your donation. Sirius Black coming in hot. Thank you so much, girl. I appreciate you. She's using www.411 J for J 411.live to send a tip. Thank you so much. If you want to send a tip, you can use that and you don't even have to leave the stream. So let's start this interview. This is Seth Rogers, Sebastian's dad. This interview was done on March 5th with WZTV Fox 17 News Nashville.
If you could just first, as his father, tell me a little bit about your son.
He's got a big heart. He's loving. He's inquisitive. He can be stubborn at times. He loves to play video games. He loves animals. He thoroughly loves animals. He likes plants. He likes to, grow things. He likes to take care of things. He loves his video games. Boy, the kid loves his video games.
What has the last week been like for you as a father?
My heart is missing somewhere out here, and I'm just trying to find him. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I can't find him.
And when was the last time you got to see Sebastian?
Last time he was at my house. So I was supposed to have him last weekend, and it would have been 2 weekends prior. He was at my house, and I got to see him.
Okay, did you hear what he said? He missed the last visit. He was supposed to. Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's easy peasy, and YouTube doesn't take the money. They have enough money. No, he talks about things he loves. All of that is on point. This guy is distraught. This guy is looking for his son. He said that he's out there alone searching. So he sends his location to the authorities because they want, he said in Pascal's show that he sent his location to the authorities because they didn't want him to go missing while he was looking for his son. Yes, Annie, let's get to that wheel. We make all 3 goals up there. On Friday, we spin the wheel of Friday, and y'all get to win gifts. It's a win-win for y'all. It's a win-win. All you have to do is gift a membership, become a member, super chat, or tip, and you are on that wheel. So good luck to you, Annie, and good luck to you, Sirius Black. You guys just got a spot on the wheel. Amber Gloria, so do they know if he was missing prior? That's what I don't know. Because he hasn't seen his son since the other visit. I'm going to rewind a little bit and we're going to listen again. Listen again. Because he gets them every other weekend.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I can't find him.
And when was the last time you got to see Sebastian?
Last time he was at my house. So I was supposed to have him last weekend, and it would have been 2 weekends prior. He was at my house, and I got to see him. We got to play video games, watch TV. Had a great weekend.
And I mean, obviously, it seems like, what has it been like working with law enforcement? Have they been great, trying to help you with this search?
They're definitely doing everything that they can to find my son, and I thoroughly appreciate it. And I hope that they find him every day. I'm waking up hoping that they find him.
And obviously, so he's autistic. Are there any tendencies that he may have? Does he like hanging out in the trees or by water that could maybe help people find him?
He does like creeks. I mean, he loves to go fishing with me. But if he's in the city limits, he's, video games. He'd probably be, maybe an arcade or something.
Okay. And has he ever done something like this before? Just leave the house for a short period of time or anything like that?
No.
And I mean, how much sleep have you lost over this last week? Walk me through kind of what that experience has been.
I haven't had very much sleep at all. I mean, coffee and energy drinks is my main diet has been.
Yeah. And I know you said you were out there searching. Are there any particular places that you're looking that you think he might be at?
I'm looking everywhere. I'm not from this area, so I don't know it. So I'm just everywhere. I keep telling people, keep your head up and your eyes open. If you see him, call 911. If my son hears my voice, buddy, you need to get a phone and call 911,
Definitely. And you live in Clarksville, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you've been out here in the Hendersonville area just searching for him the last week?
Every day.
And I guess, are you in close contact with his mother and stepfather about the situation?
Not really. I mean, we're in communication at least once a day, but that's about it. Okay. I'm looking for him.
Okay, now that is really disturbing to me. Are you in communication with the mom and the stepdad? And there's a long pause, and then he says, not really. We talk maybe once a day, and that's it. Their child together is missing. I think there's a great divide between, I think the stepdad has put a great divide between Sebastian and his parents. That's my thoughts.
Today, but that's about it.
Okay.
I'm looking for him,
Yeah. And I know, obviously with social media, it's tough because as a parent, you just want your kid home. But there's been a lot of, speculation, too, about possible, criminal investigations. I mean, what's kind of your reaction to all of that chatter on social media?
I don't have social media, man.
Okay. But just hearing people kind of speculate about that in the community, I guess, how does that make you feel?
I think they need to, instead of being keyboard warriors, they need to put feet on the ground and start looking for my son. If they really want to help, that's what they should be doing instead of coming up with their own opinion. How about get out there and we find my son?
And how much does your son Sebastian mean to you?
He is my life.
Do you have any other kids?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And I guess, is there, anything you want to say? I don't know how well you know the stepfather or the mother, but is there anything you'd like to say about that and that situation and how he just kind of disappeared from the house?
I have nothing to say about that.
Okay. And if you could say something to Sebastian right now, what would you say?
If you are hearing this, son, you need to tell people who you are and tell them to call 911 for you. You need to tell people that you are Sebastian Rogers and that you need them to call 911.
And anything you'd like to tell him about returning home?
I miss you, buddy. And I'm waiting. I won't hear from you. How can you?
All right.
Call 911 so we can find you, man. Come on, son.
So that's where it ends. The guy is distraught. Welcome in. If you're just joining, we are talking about Sebastian Rogers right now. We just played a new interview that I found I hadn't heard before. Just started touching on this case yesterday, but Sebastian Rogers went missing February 26th, just to give you guys a little background. He went missing February 26th. His mother claims that she told him to go to bed at 9, and he did. And stepdad claims that he was on the phone with mom, that she was on the couch, fell asleep, and that at midnight, so 3 hours, like they were on the phone for hours and hours, allegedly. So at midnight, he tells her, you need to go to bed. Take the dogs out and you need to go to bed. But he's not even home, allegedly. He's not even home, allegedly. So she goes to bed. She says, and this is mom's exact words, which make no sense. When I went to wake him up in the morning, or when I woke him up in the morning, he wasn't there. That was what. When I woke him up in the morning, he wasn't there. I agree with you, Pointer. And it sounds like they missed a visit. So a little lizard update. He is in the window right here next to me. He's been hanging out. He shedded some skin, which was weird. But, yeah, he's still here. He's still here hanging. Thank you, Gypsy Witch. You want me to play mom's interview? Okay, we'll do that. Let's do that right meow. So we'll watch mom and stepdad again. Meg's here. Welcome, Mega. How could you forget? How could you forget?
Tonight, the parents of a missing teen in Sumner County described to us exclusively how they feel on day 8 of their son's disappearance. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marius Payton.
And I'm Lauren Lowry. Sebastian Rogers is 15. He was last seen by his parents on February 25th in Hendersonville. Sebastian has autism, and he's gone without his medication this whole time. And since then, authorities have searched by air, by foot, and on horseback.
Helicopters, drones, and dive teams have also been brought in to try to find him. Today, his parents spoke exclusively to our Holly Thompson.
She's live tonight in Sumner County. Holly, I imagine it was quite an emotional interview.
Certainly was. It is hard for any of us to imagine the emotions that this family is going through right now. But we know one thing is certain. They remain positive. They are holding on to hope that their son Sebastian will return home safely.
Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now?
I just want my baby to be okay. I don't know where he's at.
Mom Katie broke down several times in our interview, but says her hope is strong that her son Sebastian will be found safe and return home.
He's going to walk through that door, and this street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
Stepdad Chris says it's been an emotional roller coaster that all started.
This isn't the interview. I want to see the actual interview. I think this is it. Sorry about that.
we're on a constant roller coaster ride of
No, that's 39 seconds. Where is the long one? I had this problem last night, too. I think this dude's a hothead. Where the heck is the actual interview? What did JLR say? Was it about the scratches on this dude's arms? Because we're going to look at his arms as well.
Or is it a cigar?
It looks like he has either bite marks or frickin'. Why can I not find this?
So is that a joint? Or is it a cigar?
The one that I see is only 40 seconds long. And that is not it. Maybe this is it. My bad.
All started Sunday night, February 25th.
Pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you."
Katie says she went to wake up Sebastian around 6 a.m. Monday for school, and he was gone. Within minutes, Katie says she was on the phone with Chris, who was working out of town, and they quickly called 911.
And he's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means.
Katie and Chris say Sebastian is not on social media. While he loves to play Minecraft, they tell me he does not have any online capabilities. I asked if there was any reason he might want to leave.
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. He's, that morning he was laughing, he was joking.
It's as if Sebastian vanished. No sign of him on any video throughout the community. Thousands of miles logged by law enforcement, canines, helicopters, even dive teams, and no sign of him. Chris and Katie tell me they've been harassed, people pointing fingers at them.
You're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts.
Are you both in the clear?
I can tell you that Mom, myself, and the father have worked very fully and cooperatively with all agencies.
That's not the question, dude.
We have anything that they've wanted, we have provided.
What do you want to say to Sebastian? What do you want him to hear from you right now?
That we love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble.
That's not the full interview, but you get the gist of it. I can't find that one. If anybody can find it, let me know. You think so, Jenny? How old is he? The kid? 13. It took them 8 days. Yep. Top cat. Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with you, Bob G. Bob G, good to see you. Is that what it was? Yeah, you want to see the guy's arms? Let's take a look. Well, first I'm going to show you this. So Dad has been to, that was another thing I learned from the Pascal show, is that Dad went to all the vigils. Right? Dad went to all the vigils. Dad talked to media at the vigils, all of that. However, stepdad and mom have not attended one vigil. Not one. Not one. Like, why? Check this out. I'll tell you. So stepdad put an excuse, a.k.a. his explanation as to why. And this is thanks to Evil Exists for grabbing this and posting it. He says, well, I know of 3 vigils that have taken place. First one, we were dealing with law enforcement agencies. Second one, because of security reasons. Third one, we were not informed of. And it's in Clarksville where the bio father lives. Why does it matter? Hey, Patrick, why does it matter where the bio father lives? Why does it matter where the bio father lives? Excuses, 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 right? So now we're going to look at some more screenshots of this dude. Let me see here. We're going to make this big because I want you guys to see his arms. I don't know for sure, but I noticed some markings, and it's not unheard of for, someone to have markings on their arms after they hurt somebody or get in a fight with somebody. So you can see here, hopefully you guys can see that on his right forearm. I don't know what that is, but there's quite a few marks, no? Megan May, welcome in. So there's screenshot number 1. Here is screenshot number 2. He's got no emotion whatsoever. Let me make this bigger. Okay, there you go. Can you see it now? No, I didn't yet, Bonnie. I didn't yet, Bonnie. What happened on Duchess last night? Were they on again? Queen Destiny, yes, he's commenting all over Facebook. He's commenting all over Facebook. All right, here's screenshot number 3. Ooh, Glenda, can you email me that information, Glenda? That is so interesting. He has a custody battle going on right now with an ex. Apparently, he's been married 6 times. 6 times. Really, Micro Kimmy? Do you see his arms? I see what looks like marks, but hey, what do I know? You can't see it? People say no. Is it good, CSI? How can you not tell from a screen grab? I mean, it's from a video. You have to remember that this is a video in action. I had to like get it just so I could see it because the camera's from it just barely shows his arms. I don't know how you can't see it, but here, I'll do this. We'll do one thing here. Who's he trying to convince? You guys, I don't know. Let's see if we can mess with the colors here. Not mess with the colors, but just the contrast. See, if I all I did was move the contrast over. Can you see him now? I mean, there's marks all over his fucking arms. This is just brightness and contrast. I'm not putting anything there that wasn't there before. I literally just changed the brightness and contrast. So now you guys can let me know what you think. Well, I can't determine what it is either, but it does look like injuries or like nail marks or something like that. I'm waiting for, I know we have a little delay. I don't know if it's bite marks or nail, like, you know, someone grabbing his arm. I'm not sure. But there's definitely something there. There's definitely something there. There is a mark underneath his eye as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why would he wear short sleeves, though? You know what I mean? Maybe he walked through a hedge of bushes. Maybe. Maybe he did. I don't know. I can't answer that, but he could. I'm just showing you what I found. So here's screenshot number 4. Can't really see much here. He's got the hat on, but when he right here, you can kind of see something under. It's hard because you can't tell if it's a shadow or not. So that's I don't know about under the eye. It does look like there's something there, but then it could be a shadow from the bill of his hat too. So I don't know about the under eye thing, but it does appear to be injuries on his arms. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can see that good right there. He is a crane operator. He's not a laborer. He sits in a crane. He works on like really tall, I can't remember what it's called, but really, really, really high crane operator. I don't know what it's called. Yep, he sits in a seat with controls. He says that he has one earbud in to talk on the phone, and he has one earbud in to hear the radio. So he's not doing any labor. He's not doing any of that. I just thought it was a little odd, you know. Your stepson's missing. You appear to be a hothead. Definitely looks like there is something under that eye, though, when you look at it like that. So I don't know. These two right here, like, hang on, let me get my drawing tool. Let me get my handy dandy drawing tool because I want to show you guys what I'm talking about. If you're just joining, if you haven't hit that like button, please hit it now. I beg of you. Here we go. Let's draw. Okay. So right here, you see like they look really deep. Those look deeper right here. See those two marks? There's one and then there's two. Now look at it again. See that? And then up here, you see, yeah, let me make it bigger. Let's just zoom in on his damn arm. This shit's weird. This is sus right here. This is what the French call sus. This is what the French call les incompetents. So you have like a row here, right? And then you've got another thing here. And then you've got these deeper imprints. What do you guys think that is? Bonnie's Journeys, they live in a $600,000 home and no alarms or cameras. I would have to think that that whole neighborhood has alarms or cameras because it's a nice neighborhood. It is a nice neighborhood. So I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that. If you're replaying this, let me know in the comments section if you think it looks like he's got some injuries. You're still tripping on the you're not in trouble? Yeah. She's scared to death of him, I think. I think she's scared to death of this guy. He seems, I mean, if he's away from home and he's got that much control on their household as to what they watch, what they do, when she goes to bed, etc., and he's not even there. I missed one or two. It looks like a handprint. Really? I don't know, man. It's scary. Do we know who saw him last except mom and stepdad and when? Just the mom. So there is video. There is video of 2 flashlights near their property that night. So they have 2 flashlights shown walking around and with each other that night. What's up, Kristen? Darcy says they look like gouge marks to her. CSI, yes, Jay, I think she's scared of him too. You did your homework, Ken Dalton. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. We're thinking that there's some scratches or gouge marks on this guy's arm. Total control freak. Yep. I mean, on the phone with her for hours, and he's got that much pull as to what they do. It's scary. And he's supposedly hours away for weeks at a time. So they have checked a landfill for this child. They have checked by air, drone, ATVs, the whole lot. And they can't find him. There's not a sign. Emergency court hearing the 21st. Okay, thanks, Glenda. We'll check it out. Elaine McKenzie. How do we know he is controlling? Just by the way he talks about running their household. Let me see if I can find the whole interview. I'm getting irritated that I can't. I'm going to have to go in my history, so give me 1 second. Two landfills? I didn't know there was 2. I took the contrast. I put the picture back to normal. So that's actually what it looks like. I can't wait to get your opinion on Asa Ellerup either. Ugh, woman makes me sick. I watched a lot of the search videos as well. I mean, they searched extensively for this child, for this boy. I can't believe I can't find this entire interview. Where did it go?
Tonight, the parents of a missing teen.
I found it. Okay. I found it. Here we go.
County described to us exclusively how they feel on day 8 of their son's disappearance. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marius Payton.
And I'm Lauren Lowry. Sebastian Rogers is 15. He was last seen by his parents on February 25th in Hendersonville. Sebastian has autism, and he's gone without his medication this whole time. And since then, authorities have searched by air, by foot, and on horseback.
Helicopters, drones, and dive teams have also been brought in to try to find him.
We already watched this one. This isn't even it. It's so weird that I can't find that one.
Are you both in the clear?
I can tell you that Mom, myself.
See, I don't see anything under his eye there. That's why I think that's a shadow. He's got like bags under his eyes like me. Like I just have natural bags under my eyes. Let's get in touch with Julio. He probably is Julio. What did CSI say? He won't answer that question. It's been asked twice. He did say on the Duchess podcast that he has a custody battle going on right now. So I'm assuming that's what it's probably about. He has other children. She works for ADT, that mom? Weird. Interesting. So here's the
a significant
flashlight
shift in the case of Sebastian Rogers, the missing autistic 15-year-old. It's a case we have followed closely since he disappeared.
We care what happens next, just like you. And now 1 week after Sebastian vanished from his Sumner County home, authorities are scaling back the search effort, and they are now calling it an investigation.
Nick Barris shares the latest details, and
they put Duchess in this.
Foul play, and that this missing teen case could become a criminal investigation. Sebastian's mother and stepfather broke their silence, talking about how he disappeared from their home overnight a week ago Sunday. The two spoke on a YouTube podcast called Missing Tennessee with Duchess.
And when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
Between the hours of 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked, and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Authorities have named no suspects and say that to date, the parents have fully cooperated with the investigation.
That doesn't mean they're not suspects. I thought that was the flashlight video. I don't know how long they've been married, but he's been married 6 times. I definitely don't think the kid ran away. He didn't have any shoes. He didn't take his phone. No teenager is going to run away without their phone. The kid's verbal. His dad said, a lot about him in these interviews. I know Duchess does rock. I love it. Works at ADT and doesn't have cameras. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, so we're going to move on from that because there's really nothing else new other than those scratch marks that I wanted to show you. There's no way this kid ran away. I'm just going to say there's no way he ran away. He's scared of bugs. They laughed about him being afraid of bugs. He does not like the outdoors. He doesn't like lakes. He doesn't like ponds. He doesn't like rivers, according to stepdad. He's a pool kid. They went on a YouTube channel before. Yes. It's Duchess. Yes, I can share that link. I can share the link to Duchess. Give me a second. So she was live 14 hours ago. And this one here is the interview right here. And I'm going to be uploading our piece from last night where we went over it. Hey, Mike, what's happening? Chris P. was asked about the home security system being on or off. He says he can't say. It will compromise the investigation. Huh. Torches? Well, that's bizarre. So that is Duchess. You guys check her out. She has one from last night as well. Let's get into the next story we're going to cover, and we will stay following Sebastian. But we're going to move into the Gilgo Beach murder suspect, Rex Heuermann's wife, Asa Ellerup. Now, Asa Ellerup's DNA was found on some of the victims. They did a cheek swab, and it matched. Yes, Chris P. is very much about how Chris P. looks, in my opinion. But I think she might be covering up because she's scared. She's very upset. I mean, I don't doubt that she is upset. He doesn't comfort her. He doesn't touch her. He doesn't hold her hand. They don't touch. And if you watch the behavior panel, you'll see that he looks at her, but she never looks at him. He looks at her, but she never looks at him. Which is interesting. Oh, the flashlights got you. I forgot that the European people call them torches. But this is John Ray, and he has been a lawyer that has been representing the Gilgo Beach victims. And now Gloria Allred is also representing some of the victims. And Gloria Allred actually put Asa Ellerup on blast about a week ago. And she said, are you going to donate some of that money that you get from your show, your documentary, to the victims? So this Asa is being put on blast. She had a GoFundMe that was set up by this Melissa Moore, this smiley face killer's daughter, who just loves talking about her dad, but no one knows who he is. No one cares. But anyways, this is John Ray. John Ray's awesome. And I'm going to play this clip of him talking about Asa.
I'm concerned that whether a grand jury will continue to sit on this case and continue to investigate, or whether, now that they think they solved the four, that they tend to rest contented in possession, like the dragon fanfare, and not move on with things and try harder. It's easy to be content with what we have. Will that happen? I hope not, but I worry. I don't know. I digressed again, didn't I? But I will keep at it. I won't give up. My staff won't give up. They spend many, many hours, these three young people, after hours working in the office. It's coming in on weekends and relentlessly pursuing this case. And we won't give up. We won't give up. I don't care what happens. We're not giving up. I think you'll see that in the next few months, there'll be some serious attacks made upon my credibility, my work. It'll happen. I see it coming. It's okay. Can deal with it. To a point. I'm Irish, so I go out on Friday night. I'll have a tip.
I love this guy.
But seriously though, yeah, we're not giving up. We're going to keep going. That's the key to everything. So let me finish on that. Don't give up. We don't give up. I teach our daughter, don't give up. And I'm asking you not to as well. And so I'm not done, because now I'm opening the floor to your questions, which I probably should have done a little earlier, but I rambled. So forgive me. Questions? Issues? Madam?
I had a question. Oh, two actually. We talk about latest evidence, but I'm hearing tell that Doerman, his wife could somehow be. Is that some in the mix there?
Well, that's a very controversial issue.
It's not. But
Yeah, it is, because in August, maybe it was early September, I forget which, but around that time, she got a lawyer, 2 lawyers actually, for herself and her children. And the lawyers held a press conference. They didn't even go to it. And the lawyers asked for money because she was so poverty-stricken from the assault on her house by the police. And they said, well, please give us money. They said that on a day when they had already raised in their GoFundMe over $44,500. It was already in the kitty when they had that obnoxious press conference. And I had information from new people who had come forward to me because they didn't trust the police, so they called me. And they were credible people. And I had information that told me that she should not be out there raising any money, that she should be a suspect in this case. So I held a counter press conference just a mile away from where they were. The press came over, some of them, and I made that statement. And I said, I have backup for that. And of course, the big thing became, John Ray doesn't have any backup. He's making that up. He's just looking for publicity. He invented that. Well, I didn't. And eventually, you heard Rodney Harrison, the commissioner, stand next to me at my press conference at my office and say, that's credible evidence. And if you don't want to talk to the police, call John Ray. He said that. So I stood by it, and I still stand by it. And I do not think for one New York second that woman should be put outside the realm of suspicion. Her hairs are found on 3 of the bodies, plus on the belt, or counting the belt. Okay? The district attorney today was emphatic.
Okay, so let's talk about that. The belt that was the big thing with the HW or whatever, her DNA. Let's listen to that again. Was it 3 places?
Publicity. He invented that. Well, I didn't. And eventually, you heard Rodney Harrison, the commissioner, stand next to me at my press conference at my office and say, that's credible evidence. And if you don't want to talk to the police, call John Ray. He said that. So I stood by it, and I still stand by it. And I do not think for one New York second that woman should be put outside the realm of suspicion. Her hairs are found on 3 of the bodies, plus on the belt, or counting the belt. Okay? The district attorney today was emphatic in saying, from what I heard, she has an alibi. She was, for Maureen Brandon Barnes, she was at Atlantic City with her children for a very long stay. Kind of odd, I thought, for bringing children. But, and they had the tickets to prove it. And then the husband came 8 days later or something like that, and they went to another hotel and stayed in Atlantic City. So she has a rock-solid alibi. Excuse me, but
no, she doesn't.
The hairs are the hairs are the hairs, number one. And number two, just watch the way this woman behaved. It's completely antithetical to innocence, the way she's behaved since then. All right, that's inference. That's not necessarily evidence. So I'll allow that for that. However, the hairs are evidence. The testimony of the people I have is evidence. And you can use your reason to say, wait a minute, this is a 1,343 square foot house. That's a superannuated bungalow.
It's a small house.
For 27 years, she had no idea what was going on in the basement. or elsewhere, you know, the States where they traveled. And well, you know, she's just a, you know, beaten down, sad woman who's a victim just like the other victims who are dead of this terrible man. Do you hear victimhood in traveling to Atlantic City and staying there for 15 days with your family? Does that sound like abused woman to you? She's traveled many other places, conventions, con conventions where she dresses up in weird creature outfits and so forth. And this is somebody who shouldn't be in the realm of suspicion. She needs to be in that circle of suspicion. I can say that. You know, she's made herself a public figure. She's now making a seven-figure amount of money to say what she's got to say, to show up like she did today from a Peacock, a major network. Over $1 million.
$1 million?
So, you know, should she be in the circle of suspicion? I would say so. And the fact that she has this alibi, she was in New Jersey if she was there all the time. That's not too far from Long Island. All right, number one. And number two, what's missed in all of this, there's several things missed, so I'll address it. I know it's taking a little time to answer your question. But think of this. Nobody knows when those girls died. One thing that does seem to be true is that Hoyerman was deeply involved in torture. He loved torture, from all the evidence we have. Did he take them and lock them up in, for example, the storage units that he had and keep them there? Those storage units were very large enough to contain another storage unit within the unit. Could he have kept them there? Could he have kept them elsewhere? Is that part of torture? Remember when Shannon Gilbert, by the way, just off the topic, when Shannon Gilbert, she came from Jersey City, when Peter Hackett made the second call that he lied about, said he never made, he made it from a New Jersey location where the phone pinged off a tower in Hasbrook, New Jersey on that Thursday. Was Shannon Gilbert still alive as of that Thursday? He was in New Jersey. He denied that he was there, and I confronted him with the phone evidence, and he couldn't explain it. Were these girls tortured and kept for a while? In which event the alibi isn't such an alibi? And another question I asked that doesn't seem to be addressed is, when were they buried? The four girls. Were they all buried at once? Were they buried at different times? Were they buried where their bodies were kept for, say,
we don't know.
6 months and then dumped there?
We don't know.
All that time? You know, did she help in insisting to get rid of the bodies? There's no evidence of that, one way or the other. None. So it's not true to say that the alibi is solid rock gold. That's it. End of story. She just didn't know. It's complete nonsense to me. And with the evidence we have of Heurman chasing other victims, you mean to say all this chasing around from state to state, place to place, never got noticed? And then I raise the last point on that, and then I'll move on to the next question. And that is this. Did you hear the district attorney or her lawyers say that when she said he's telling the truth, her husband is not guilty? Did you hear her address something that would put you in jail, even if you didn't do any killings, would put you in jail for 20 years? And that is the dark web porn and the child porn. Really vicious child porn.
Vicious. Horrible.
None of them have denied that. That goes on over the course of time in his house, in his computer, in his 1,343 square foot house, where not only did Heurman live, his wife and his 2 adult children, or one is a stepchild, but also his brother lived, and another person lived, another woman lived, according to the records I have found. through my wonderful staff.
Get it, John.
All crammed in there. But nobody noticed that this guy was getting off on sick, deep porn that would put him in jail for 20 years if he were found guilty. Why isn't that addressed? And if she knew about that, then why wouldn't you believe that she knew about other things as well? How come that's not addressed?
Good question.
I just thought I'd bring it up. Other questions? Yeah.
What do you think happened to Shannon Gilbert, and why do you think the Suffolk Police Department didn't want the FBI's help and handled it the way they did?
Shannon Gilbert was murdered. The evidence is overwhelming that she was murdered. Her hyoid bone alone is cracked. When I strangle you as a woman, we have studies that go all the way back to the 19th century. 90-some-odd% of the women who are strangled, their hyoid bone breaks. Her hyoid bone was fractured, according to Dr. Michael Bodden, a friend of mine who I brought in, world-renowned, the most renowned medical examiner in the world. He and I was with him and his brother Bobby and a reporter when we got the bones and we did the autopsy, and we could see the broken hyoid bone. And there was a hole, either punched or drilled right through the center of that bone. Hole about 3/16 of an inch.
Oh my God.
She was murdered. And what was the second part of your question?
Well, why did the Suffolk Police Department not want the FBI's help, and why did they handle it? What are they hiding?
I believe that the answer to your question lies in a closer examination of the influence of Burke and others in that early investigation. It was Burke who, even Geraldine Hart said, drove away. Geraldine was the next.
Okay, we're going to stop there because I'm just focusing on Asa today. But this whole thing is available on YouTube. I'm giving y'all the link right meow. Save it to your watch laters. This is a total of 2 hours long. This was a special engagement that he did just 2 months ago. So you can watch that. And this channel also has other clips of his as well. Angie B, you are definitely on that wheel. Sirius Black. I felt like the daughter had some kind of knowledge that something was off as well. She worked with her dad. She worked in Manhattan with her dad. So let's take a read at this. Gilgo Beach murder suspect Rex Heuermann's estranged wife, Asa Ellerup, appears in court for the first time last year. It says here, Asa Ellerup was in court for the first time last November. She's filed for divorce and is selling her story to documentary makers. And Rex indicated he was very happy to see her, per his attorney, and his understanding is she doesn't believe he was capable or committed the acts. His lawyer, her lawyer rather, said, if this happened, Rex was living a complete double life. Nobody would like to believe their spouse is capable of any of these heinous crimes. She sat stone-faced, and Heuermann glanced her way. And he had another unnamed visitor who visited him twice. So now she's visiting him weekly. She's now visiting him weekly. Check this out. She's giving him the benefit of the doubt. So this is as of March 13th of this year. The wife of Rex Heuermann issued a statement on Wednesday saying she is giving her husband the benefit of the doubt. Asa Ellerup said in a statement through her attorneys that she sympathized with the victims and their families and that nobody deserves to die in that manner. She said, "I will listen to all the evidence and withhold judgment until the end of the trial. I have given Rex the benefit of the doubt we all deserve." She filed for divorce after he was arrested, but her attorneys noted she visits every week and believes he is not capable of what he is accused of. A benefit of the doubt? After 27 years of him doing this in their home? Shut up, lady. Just shut up, lady. Come on, Asa, let's go party. Daughter saw dad being sleazy towards the women that worked in his office, and the daughter's hair was found on one of the bodies, too. Yep. She's crazy. So here is, we're going to move on to the latest with Chad Doerman. They have thrown out his confession, and Court TV is reporting on it. Take a listen.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. We have some brand new developments in the case of an Ohio father accused of murdering his 3 young sons. A judge has ruled that Chad Doerman's confession that he allegedly gave during his interrogation will be thrown out. On Friday, the judge ruled that the defendant's rights were violated twice when police skipped parts of the Miranda warnings and when detectives continued questioning Chad Doerman after he asked for an attorney. Doerman could face the death penalty if he is convicted, and his case is scheduled to go to trial in July. But now with this recent ruling, that could change. This is big, big news and could really be key to this case. Let me bring in our guests. I have with me retired Deputy Inspector with the NYPD, Corey Pegues, and Attorney Tommy Pope, retired SLED agent and former prosecuting attorney in South Carolina. Oh my, we had a guy who stayed put after his 3 sons were shot to death, and police said he confessed. He told us all about what he did, and now the jury is not going to hear any of it. And the reason the judge has found the police really messed this up. I want to get your reactions on that. As 2 people who have served, and we thank you for your service, respectively, in law enforcement, how they bungled this. And now one of the best pieces of evidence against this guy, poop, has gone out of the trial. Corey.
Sad, despicable, horrifying.
Yep.
This guy allegedly murdered those 3 babies, one of them running out the house from the first shooting.
Right.
And they get to toss all of this information out. Yeah. This is almost Tommy agreed. This like policing 101.
Isn't this horrible?
This is horrible. But again, you know, for me coming from big city policing, I look at it and say, this is small town policing. Everyone knows the clock stops. They ask for a lawyer, the clock stops. You read them their Mirandas, if they want to hear them or not. You read them anyway. You just read them all the time. This is policing 101.
Thank you.
I would love to see, Tommy would agree, who was interviewing him? And when I say that, like, how much time did this person have on the job?
Oh, yeah. We got a clip of the guy doing the interviewing. Let's look at
Is it a rookie, Tommy? You understand?
You know,
a rookie detective?
That's a good question. His last name is Ross. Let's roll that clip now where he's talking about how he thought that defendant Chad Doerman was playing games. Let's take a look.
Oh, so what I said is that they didn't read his Miranda rights. They didn't read his Miranda rights, and after he asked for a lawyer, they kept questioning him. How does this happen?
Everybody knows, we trust, except perhaps for the detectives involved, that when a custodial interrogation is underway, and the suspect clearly says, I want a lawyer, that isn't the start of a test. That isn't the start of an officer's invitation to a detective to quiz about name, rank, and serial number of a lawyer. That's the time they stop. They stop, get up, and go. That's what they should have done. That happened within about 5 minutes of the interrogation. 45 minutes goes by. He asks again, where's the lawyer? And at that point, he is again ignored. If he had the wherewithal, as the state asserts, to know his situation, to know where he was, to assure officers he posed at no risk, then likewise, he had the wherewithal to clearly say, I want a lawyer, period.
What do you understand you're supposed to do when a suspect who's in custody clearly asks for a lawyer?
If they clearly ask for a lawyer, which I've done on other cases, on other homicide cases, they clearly ask for a lawyer, I stop questioning them,
right?
Which I've done before. In this case, he did not clearly say he wanted a lawyer.
But you said that you tried to clarify it with him. That's what you're saying, these questions you asked him about, whether he had a lawyer or not, were designed to do.
I did try to explore that and clarify his comments, but he continued playing games with me.
Okay, Tommy Puppy saying every other homicide case he knows to stop, but in this one it was gameplay. This were 3 dead kids. He thought, let's not be cautious, let's push, as this guy is unsure of what he wants. Your reaction, please, Tommy.
I think you pointed out the issue. I think, and again, as Corey said, I don't know this guy's experience. It sounded like he has previous experience. I think the emotion of the horror of this case, of the nature of the deaths of those children, overtook this officer's emotions. In other words, instead of just, you have to be cool under fire, no matter the nature of the case. I've had it in death penalty cases. You can't threaten somebody with the death penalty. And I've had officers that are so angry about the circumstances of the murder that they'll, allude to the death penalty and getting it off your chest and all the police tactics, but ultimately they take it too far. My guess.
So they skipped parts of the Miranda rights. Look at those precious boys. I will never understand. Look at them. It makes me sick. He's still going down. Bethany, where at? Where is it? The Proudfoots. Oh, Megs. I know they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. I know, it makes me sad. I have another video for y'all. This happened today.
Ezekiel's mom.
This happened today in Florida. We have an arrest of a homicide of a 1-year-old here in Central Florida. In Lakeland, Florida. This press conference just came out today.
Told Curry, call 911, and he finally did. Between 2:55 p.m. and 5:25 p.m., that's about 2.5 hours, Curry and Ezekiel's mom exchanged 67 messages on Instagram. About 119 minutes, which is about 2 hours, elapsed from the first signs of distress until Curry finally decided to notify and call 911. As previously stated, Ezekiel succumbed to his injuries on March 8th at Tampa General Hospital. Keep in mind, this incident started on March 5th. Curry's account of how Ezekiel received his injuries were not consistent with the severity of the physical injuries that we observed. We spoke to the medical doctors that treated Ezekiel at Lakeland Regional Health and at Tampa General Hospital. They conferred with the state attorney's office, and the medical professionals estimated that Ezekiel was without oxygen for at least 45 minutes and suffered a brain bleed. The findings of the physicians as well with a child protection team at Tampa General Hospital were that the injuries to Ezekiel were consistent with physical abuse. On March 11th, the medical examiner performed Ezekiel's autopsy and found that Ezekiel's injuries to be inconsistent with the statement that Curry gave that the puppy knocked him over backwards. The injuries were not consistent with an injury or a fall, and the cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma, and the manner of death was determined by the medical examiner to be a homicide. After reviewing the findings of the medical professionals and in consultation with the state attorney's office, an arrest warrant was obtained for Curry on Friday, charging him with first-degree murder and aggravated child abuse. Curry was arrested this past Friday, March 15th, at about 7:07 in the evening and was transported to the county jail. I'll tell you that the detectives have worked hard on the case. They've been involved from the very beginning when we went out there. Officers performed CPR on little Ezekiel at the time, but it is unconscionable and unfathomable to me that almost 2.5 hours could go by from the very first signs that Ezekiel was injured until Mr. Curry had finally decided to notify 911. So we were very concerned about that. We had to get some opinions of the medical professionals before we were able to push the charges through. We weren't sure if Ezekiel was going to make it or not, and then he died 3 days later. But we knew that he was in very, 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 very grave condition. So it was a very traumatic injuries, and I can tell you that the accounts that have been related to me on the injuries that Ezekiel suffered were in no shape, way, or form consistent with the video that he walked us through and showed us how the injuries occurred. That did not happen. His fatal injuries occurred to the front of his head, and based on the way he said he fell, all of the injuries were on the back of his head. He did have some small bruising on the back of his head, but they were just bruises, nothing more. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
2 hours in between what you said was the first sign of distress in that 911 call. Is there ever an excuse waiting that long?
None. Zero. Absolutely none. There's absolutely no reason. I get he was probably overwhelmed. There was at least 2 puppies in the house. He's only 20 years old. I get all that. But common sense will tell you, and just being a human being will tell you, if another human's in distress, you pick the phone. If you don't know what to do, call 911. Instagram is not 911. Instagramming mom, she's at work. She can't help you. She can't perform CPR, right? She's at work. So you got to pick the phone up and call. It's common sense to me.
Chief, your department in the last week and a half has been dealing with some cases resulting in tragic, terrible deaths of very young children. How are you holding up? How are your officers?
Good question. You're correct. We've had a 3-year-old that was killed in a tragic shooting. Now we've got a 2-year-old, 23-month-old, almost 2, that's been the victim of a criminal act. It's tough on these guys and gals that do it. It's tough on the dispatchers. It's tough on the officers. It's tough on the detectives.
1 year old.
We ask these men and women to do things that normal human beings don't do and see things that normal human beings don't see. And they've got wives and families and kids too. So we're making sure that we're constantly monitoring them. We've got peer support folks that are with them, and we're trying to make sure we're doing everything that we can do to support them and support the families as well. That's the other problem with the strategy is that you've got a three-year-old mom that lost a 3-year-old son, and now you've got a 2-year-old child that's dead, and he's got parents and grandparents as well. So good question. Thank you.
With Ezekiel's mom, is there any responsibility for her to have called 911 with those Instagram messages?
Good question.
We're still looking into that. Yes, ma'am.
See, her mom, the mother didn't call 911 when he texted her and said something happened. So they're still looking into that. She may be charged as well.
We're still looking into that. We haven't charged her with anything right now, but we still have some further interviews and some investigating to do.
Is she cooperating?
She is.
How is she when you guys spoke with her?
She's upset, and she's cooperative. I'll leave it at that.
Are there any other children in the household?
There were not. There was Mr. Cotto, Ezekiel, I think 2 dogs and 2 ducks, I believe.
2 dogs and 2 ducks? Is that what he said?
Did he beat this child to death?
I believe that he was frustrated and he either used something or pushed the child, did something to the child that caused injuries to the front top portion to the extent that he had some fatal injuries to the top of his head. Whether he used an instrument or whether he took his face and pushed it into something, we just don't know.
Oh my God.
Explain the first-degree murder charge, just because we had another case where it was aggravated manslaughter of a child.
Right. That was the charge that we arrived at in consultation with the state attorney's office. A lot of times we do charge that as well, but we have charged first-degree murder on the child abuse cases as well on that. So, but that was the charge that the detectives in consultation with the state attorney's office agreed were the most appropriate on Friday afternoon.
Did he ever confess to anything?
Did he confess?
He did a video walkthrough with us, which we will typically do. That was absolutely not consistent with the injuries that Ezekiel suffered. He, other than sticking to a story that he got out of the shower, he had given Ezekiel a bath because he had urinated on himself in the bed, cleaned him up, set him out on the floor, and that the dog came in and knocked him over, knocked him on backwards. That was the same story he told the 2 times that we interviewed him.
Liar.
She was so with him letting the bed, could that have been the possible motive as far as what made?
Because you're a liar.
Yeah, we're speculating at this point, and I would be speculating. I will tell you that I suspect that probably Mr. Cotto was overwhelmed. He probably was unused since he was only been there for 4 weeks, or probably was unused to babysitting a 23-month-old or almost 2-year-old. They can be a handful. I know I've got 2 grandsons that are a little like that, and so they can be a handful. And then probably with the stress of that, the stress of the dog, the 2 dogs, the 2 I think they were ducks that they kept in the house. I think they were. He was cleaning up after them as well. It's just conjecture, but I guess he just reached a breaking point. I don't know. He didn't tell us.
Does there any evidence of older injuries to the child?
No.
Does he have a criminal history?
He does not. All right.
Was there any tips or anything you can give to parents who may be in that situation where they're overwhelmed and they can call someone to do something before it reaches that breaking point?
Call somebody. You got to have a grandmother, a neighbor. Shoot, if you don't want to do, call us. We'll send. We can get you some resources. We can get you some help. Walk away, take a breath. There's all kind of coping mechanisms that you can use. But when you're 20 years old, maybe you don't realize that. You react with emotion. And it's sad for him. I don't want to, play that up too much. But I feel bad for him as well. He's got no criminal history, and I think he probably just overreacted and lost his temper. But that'll all come out in the trial later, and he had the opportunity to tell us. We provided that with him twice.
I feel bad for him.
And
What is he talking about?
Consistently staying with the story, which we believe not to be true and not consistent with the injuries. I think it would have been
Fucking
better
fuzzy
if he
slippers and lip
was
gloss.
honest with us, to be honest with you. I don't think he was honest with us. So, all right. I do want to continue, let you know that we are still looking for the 2 individuals that we spoke with on Friday. Steve, can you turn that around?
All right, that's a different case. No excuse. I feel bad for him because he lost his cool. No. I feel sorry for the little baby who was just being a baby. Good Lord. Yeah, I didn't like that. That's Florida, too. Grady Judd would never say he felt bad for this dude. Ever. Grady Judd would say, this man is a monster. He didn't have any criminal history, but he's a monster. Speaking of ducks, we have our going out video for this Monday. We're wrapping up with a body cam out of Orlando. This is a Florida deputy conducting a traffic stop in St. Johns County, which happens to be where Aiden Fucci committed his crime against Tristan Bailey, same county. St. Johns County, Florida. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. So there's turkeys harassing this officer. He thinks they're ducks. This just happened in February 29th of this year. So you guys will get a major kick out of this. I am almost sure of it. Here we go.
Quack, quack, quack. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Get your up-to-date what?
Wait, hold on. He starts out by getting out quack, quack, quack. Chicken, chicken, chicken. They're turkeys. They're turkeys.
Quack, quack, quack. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Get your up-to-date what? What is... Huh?
That turkey. My name's Turkot, and that turkey.
Quack, quack. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, come on. Quack, quack. Get back up, back up. Back up. Somebody better come get that. Quack. Yeah, back up. Here, here's your stuff back. Back up. Back up. Back up. I'll be right back, ma'am. Give me a second. Except for I'm getting attacked by a chicken right now. Back up. Back up. Back up. I can't believe this is happening. All the places you can come.
You guys, we have to watch.
Quack, quack, quack. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Get your up-to-date what? What is... Huh?
That turkey. My name's Turkot, and that turkey.
Quack, quack. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, come on. Quack, quack. Get back up, back up. Back up. Somebody better come get that. Quack. Yeah, back up. Here, here's your stuff back. Back up. Back up. Back up. I'll be right back, ma'am. Give me a second. Except for I'm getting attacked by a chicken right now. Back up. Back up. Back up.
He's a sheriff's deputy.
I can't believe this is happening.
I can't believe this is happening.
All the places you can come.
The rooster. That's great, isn't it? I hope that made you guys laugh. It's great. Oh man, thank you guys for joining today. It's been fun. It's been fun. It's been so fun. We will end on that note. That is the funniest going out video I've had in a long time. He's kicking his leg. Oh shit. I know, I'm crying. I laughed so hard when I saw that the first time. I couldn't deal. The way he kicks his leg out towards it. Oh, shit. That is so funny. Woo. All right. I don't know. He was giving someone a ticket too. He's like, I'll be right back, ma'am. I would love to hear from that lady. Oh, that's funny as shit. I would have been sitting there cracking up. All right, guys. Thanks for joining today. We're going to wrap up this Monday live. Thanks for listening. If you're replaying, leave your comments in the comment section below. Keep the conversation going. I will see you in Discord in between our live streams and videos. I'll see you guys soon. Oh, you want the video? Okay, hold on. Let me put the link. Here you go. Thank you, moderators, for being here and rocking it out. And thank you to all the members again. We'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we can rock the reel of Fry J. We got to meet those goals. So I'll see you in the next live stream.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, no, we're all in this together.
Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much.
Everyone's getting treated like skunk.
I don't know.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
So hot it hurts. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to France, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on broken Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time.
One, Jennifer? Or
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Bye, Jennifer.